Well, let's see what you got.
When it comes to Hulu original films, or Hulu/Disney original films, depending on which part of the world you are in, it really is hit or miss. And I feel the same way about Netflix original movies at the moment. I never know whether I'm going to get a decent film or something that's just going to piss me off. Clock could go either way. Let's chat about it. From director-writer Alexis Jacknow follows a woman desperate attempt to fix her broken biological clock. So stars Dianna Agron, who you'll know probably from the Glee Club, if you watch any of the Glee Club. I loved her in The Number 4.
Good luck.
Melora Hardin, who plays Dr. Elizabeth Simmons.
Deep breath.
Is another one of the protagonists, and Jay Ali, who plays Aiden Patel, is the husband. So we have a young woman here who is at the height of her career, doing really well, seems to be enjoying life with her partner. She's just gotten a contract to do a dream job, but all of her friends and her father and others around, just the world seems to be saying, you're 37, almost 38, and your biological clock hasn't ticked in yet. You need to do something about this, otherwise you'll never conform to what society says you need to have. 2.4 children, a dog and a cat. You've got to live this way. All her friends are having kids. Everybody's asking her, why aren't you? Now's the time before it's too late. And so under the pressure of everything for years and years, she goes and gets herself on this trial that supposedly can kickstart her biological clock. Now, we'll be doing an ending explained at the end, but for now, this is just a review. And so what we get here is a film that doesn't quite know what it is or what it wants to be. There are two films here. One is a psychological thriller, and the other one is a horror. And these are always at heads with each other. When the psychological thriller starts implementing what our protagonist Ella Patel is going through, then it's kind of skims off to her horror and stuff that we've seen before with jump scares and scary kind of things that make things scary, but never really sticks the landing because it doesn't know what it wants to be. Now, the acting, I think, from our protagonist is great. They do a good job with what they're given, and the filmmaking at times is fine. It doesn't set out to do anything different from either of those genres. However, had it stuck to one of those genres, just go for the horror and maybe be a little bit less cliche than some of the other films, then it would have been better. Had it stuck to the psychological, or rather than the horror, implementing it for the sake of it. You have a 3-tier arc here of this film, where it seems to kind of know where it's going for the first two halves, and then it delves into the horror more and loses its footing and doesn't really stick the landing of what it's trying to say. I was pissed off with the ending because I didn't feel like it justified it or needed to go there, or they had their ending the way it ended because that's like a thing of being edgy these days. You got to end it like that. I didn't think it needed to. At the same time, it probably was the only way they could have ended it that way because they wrote themselves into a corner. So here we have an amalgamation, a mix mash of some good acting, some interesting concepts, and some harrowing moments that are genuinely creepy. But as a whole packaged together, I can't sit here and go, yeah, this is one that you should stick on. You'll enjoy it immensely. Some people might enjoy it and have lower expectations when going in because it is one of those Hulu films. Others will be like, yeah, I'm not wasting my time for that. I do wish I'd spent my time watching a different film, but at least I've watched this and I can say to you guys now, maybe give this one a miss. I'm gonna give this a 2 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one.
I think there is some enjoyment to be had here. There are some psychological moments that work, but the story loses the plot and doesn't know what it is. So let me know your thoughts about this. I'm going to go talk about the ending now, so if you don't want to have it spoiled, then click away. But if you do want to chat in the comments, don't forget to leave the spoiler comment, like that spoiler is coming for other people that are watching a review. So in the end, firstly, let me know what you thought was going on in the end, because I think it can be up into interpretation to a point. Because we get that story where her father spoke about the fish coming out of water, and that's literally the last scene where we see she's on the rocks and she watches this fish come in the water. But that's really, I think I don't think that she's alive. I think she is actually dead. She committed suicide because of the harrowing experience of what she did under the drugs, the influence of the drugs, driving her basically crazy, and took out her father in the most horrific way. And I don't know many people that could live with themselves. Certainly her marriage is over, her work is over, her job is over, and she's killed her dad. So I get what she did there at the end. But at the same time, then they wanted to kind of be artsy and jump to that next sequence where they would go, okay, but look here, she's experiencing something that maybe was in her mind. I don't think that is the case. I think she actually is dead. And if you go back to the meaning of what the father was talking about, the culture and heritage that she has, it's all part of that storyline, which is symbolic. There's a lot of symbolism that this film has. It's very symbolic heavy. If you go and watch it, from the clock, the spider, the tall woman, all of that is part of the psychology that they're playing with, but it kind of beats you over the head with it and goes, see, this is us being clever. Now, had there been something else that actually was happening, I think that would have been maybe interesting, but you probably guessed everything that was happening like myself. So let me know your thoughts and theories. Did you think it actually happened a different way? Do you think it was all in her head? Is she actually okay? Or maybe is she in like a hospital and she's just experiencing those? With these type of films that are psychological in nature and horrific, sometimes you could play with the ending and go, yeah, it means this. I don't think it's quite that, but I'm open to interpretation and hearing your thoughts about it. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.